Hi, everybody. So we've been of Alchemy. I'm Rick Barrett. Welcome. Today, I'd like to continue our discussion of the microcosmic orbit. And just to refresh your memory or clue you in case you're just tuning in, the microcosmic orbit is a way of conceptualizing energy flows or energy channels in the body, particularly the two primary ones. One that goes up the spine, the other one that is in the front of the body. And so these two channels are they integrate and they feed each other. So one feeds, so they're interdependent. And last week we talked about the one that goes up that is along the spine and goes from the from the tip of your coccyx all the way up the spine, over the top of your head, and then down to your upper lip, and just below your nose. And that is the Du channel, DU, and it is named the Sea of Yang. So think of it in terms of the that which feeds the yang channels in the body, the yang meridians in the body, and it's the part that gets us excited, the part that gets it's expansive, it's excited, it wants us to do stuff. And you can think of the correlation there between the sympathetic nervous system. It's the do part, and so that shoots up there, and it brings the chi up into the brain and feeds into your Niwan Gong, your that center of your spiritual center in your head. It comes down and ends up right here. So that's the Sea of Yang, and that think of the channel as you can think of it as the energy coming up the spine and then down the front and circulating around like that. And that's kind of a traditional way of thinking about it. I kind of like to think of it in terms of reservoirs. So we're filling up these reservoirs with so much chi that we're kind of able to it fills the whole body, gives us more than enough energy to perform all the functions that we need and more. And so having more chi and circulating it well is sort of the formula for Chinese medicine. It's like if you do that, you're going to be happy, healthy, and your mind's going to be clear. And there's also you have access to a higher level of spiritual illumination whenever you have ample chi to feed the process. So the corollary to the Du channel, which is also called the governing vessel, it governs the distribution of the yang qi. There is the conception vessel, and that is along the center line of the front of your body. It goes from your Huiyin, which is at the perineum. That's the spot on your body that's between your genitals and your anus, and that your perineum, and it comes up the center line and comes up to your chin. So right there, right below your lip, there's that's Ren 24. It's there. So we have these two channels, and this is the Sea of Yin. And so what the Yin channel does, the Ren channel, it calms you down. It's kind of like the parasympathetic nervous system, and that it calms you down. It allows you to relax, allows you to rest and digest. It nurtures your internal organs, and particularly your reproductive system. And so there's all these things are fed by these yin this yin chi. And so it then also feeds the yin meridians, which include things like your heart, spleen, lungs, liver, kidneys. Both the Du and the Ren channels initiate in the kidneys in the Chinese model, in the space between the kidneys, and that's where the energy is stored. And so then it goes the Du goes to Du one, which is right between your anus and your coccyx, and then Ren one goes to the perineum, goes to the Huiyin, which is the sea, which is the meeting point of 100 yins, is what's called it. So that Huiyin point is like the most yin point in your torso. So there's a whole system there, and you think of it as that's the most yin point, and the Bai Hui, which is right there at the top of your head, is the most yang point. And so we get that's the general map of these things. So to make these things work for us, we use our consciousness, we use awareness to create poles in opposition. So that is, you can think of yin yang as being one thing. It's like it's the unity that is the Taiji. But if we want to create energy, we have to separate the yin from the yang. We have to create that distinction there, and that holding the poles in opposition is what generates chi. That's what makes the energy happen. And so if we have, microcosmic orbit is these two channels, they are of a piece, but they have two functions. One is expansive and one is contractive. One excites us, one calms us down. And so having those two and be able to delineate between the two and identify them then allows us to create more chi, which then becomes available for all the systems in your body. So the way we kind of connect the two, if you place the tip of the tongue in the roof of the mouth and breathe through the nose, and that connects up the Ren and the Du at this pole between your chin and your nose, and then between the Huiyin and the coccyx, and then you just kind of lift lightly on your perineum and on your anus, and then there's a connection there. Last week we generated lots of yang qi by activating by feeling. We were feeling the anus and the nose and holding those poles. And it's by taking them out of the more abstract idea of, the acupuncture points and things like that, and actually thinking about a body part, we're then able to make it more substantial, make this yang qi more substantial. And this week we're going to connect up the chin with the Huiyin. And you think of it as just, that your perineum. And once we establish this connection, then we can just identify it as nose and chin and create that distinction between the two, just as a shorthand way of thinking about it, talking about it, and also activating it. So first thing we'll do is go over the stuff from last week and just kind of get that connected up, and then we'll move to so that was the Du channel, and then we'll move into the Ren channel, and then we'll bring them together, and and then we'll if we have time, we'll fit it into some movement. So why don't you stand up, please? And we'll investigate some microcosmic orbit. Our first thing we'll do is establish our three pillars. And someone asked me this week about, that they feel more chi in doing these exercises than they do when they're doing their Tai Chi form. And what's the difference there? And the big difference that for my in my thinking and why I created the three pillars is that I believe that we don't do a Tai Chi form to discover our chi. We have a full load of chi before we start the form. And so establishing your three pillars allows us to access the big chi, the chi of the heavens and the earth. And the chi of the heavens and the earth. And so the yin chi of the earth, the yang chi of the heavens, and allow that to fill up our body mind. So when we're circulating, like for instance, we're circulating our microcosmic orbit, or we're filling up those channels, we're not doing it with only the chi that's in our own system. We are tapping into the big chi and allowing that to integrate in with our chi, the chi of our own bodies, and then circulating that. So first thing we do is establish our, let's start with our central equilibrium and feel the three nails in your feet. That's the along the big toe line, the medial line of your foot. Feel the heel, the ball of the foot, and the big toe. And so we're lining up along the inside of the foot. You just feel those 3 points on each foot. And notice as you do that, you're allowing yourself to center over the medial line, not on the outsides of your feet. And if you do find yourself centering on the outsides of your feet, you want to kind of gradually work to correct that and bring your weight more and more medial, because that's where your center is. And so if we're looking for central equilibrium, we want to work with the body's structure and its energy system to facilitate that. So now sink into the heel nail on the inside of your foot, and this allows us to establish our yin energy. And place the tip of your tongue in your roof of your mouth. Breathe through your nose. Yourself sinking down, your knees are unlocked, yourself sinking down into the earth, and allowing that earth chi to rise to your bubbling well points in the center of your foot, and filling your body with that yin chi. Now we'll do the yang pole, the negative pole, the yin pole. Now the yang pole, the positive pole, is in your head. You want to reach up to the crown of your head, tuck in your chin, and open up the jade pillow gate at the base of your skull. Everything is super relaxed. Even as you reach up at the crown of your head, you're doing it in a very, very relaxed way. Very calm. There's no muscular contraction as you're doing that. It's more, it's like your head is like a vine reaching up toward the sun. It's just being pulled upward. but at the same time, your roots are going down deeper and deeper into the earth. Relax your lower back, drop your sacrum, and just feel your sacrum, feel your coccyx, the very base of your spine. Relax your lower back and reach out a little bit with your elbows. Your arms are slightly rounded. This opens up your shoulder joints. This enables you to access your shoulder chin. As you do this, just feel into your hands and notice the sensations that are occurring there. Notice there's a pronounced tingling, pulsing sense of fullness. That's because you're unkinking the hose and you're creating more chi flow in your body mind. Your whole body is filling up with an abundance of chi. Point and reach with your index fingers and feel your energetic coherence. Feel your whole body becoming one system, one energy, and one body. Everything is all connected up. We're accessing through the connective tissue system the living matrix of the body. Now let's release the qua, the hip joints. And do that just by setting your knee and spiraling down to the left, very nice and easy, spiraling down to the right. The knee doesn't move and your body doesn't move sideways. You just spiral down as if you're sinking down, you're screwing down into the earth. And get nice and relaxed, back to center. And just feel into your hands and notice how just by opening up the qua like that, we've enhanced the chi flow in the hands. So this is the kind of thing that you want to do before you do a Tai Chi form. Just have a progressively more energy available to you so that you can circulate it in your form. So let's just review the do channel. And the idea here is that you're connecting up your nose, feeling your nose and feeling your anus, and connecting up the channel that goes up your spine, over your top of your head. Going to the balls of your feet, just kind of sink into that and press down a little bit with your big toes. What this does is it enhances the yang flow. It excites the body, creates this expansiveness in the system. And then sink into your heels and let that go. Bring the balls of your feet, press down with the big toes. Feel your nose, your anus, and feel that yang expansion there. We're pumping up the system. We're creating an abundance of chi in the do channel and that reservoir that shares with the rest of the body. And then go back into the yin, sink into your heels. Just pause a moment and eat the chi. That is, you're going into resonance with that feeling. Notice that we've cranked up the chi quite a bit. So now we want to just take it in. Go into resonance with it. Feel it and let it become part of us. Incorporate it into your body mind. Make the chi your friend. Now we're going to go to the Yin channel, the Sea of Yin, the Ren, R-E-N. And here we're connecting up the chin, just under the lip there, and the Huiyin, at the perineum. And that's along the center line of my zipper here up my throat to my just above my chin there. So we're going to connect up the chin with the Huiyin. And so go into the balls of your feet and then sink into your heels and connect up the chin with the Huiyin. That's the yin. And then we're going to go back to the do, and we're going to your nose and you amplify the yang qi, the Sea of Yin, and then go into the heels and amplifying your yin qi. Relax and calm and let that kind of just settle down. The energy just flows down, and then we go back and we crank it up again. Feel the balls of your feet press down with the big toe. Feel your nose. And then you can do healed and yin. Feel your chin. Feel your huiyin. Now we're going to let all that go, and just what we've done is prime the pump. And just feel into that and let it do it by itself. Just feel both the yin of your Ren and the yang of your Du. Filling up those reservoirs. So you can think of it as a flow. You can think of it as a tradition, and we think of it as a flow up the spine, over the head, and then down the front, and then continue to circulate like that. And that's perfectly valid. But you can also think of it as just two reservoirs that are connected up at these two gates. There, the gates open and close as needed. But more importantly, we're thinking of the yang reservoir and the yin reservoir playing with each other, doing a little yin-yang dance. Now, go to the balls of your feet. Next to your do, refill your nose and press down with your big toes. Reach up with your wrists. Feel the yang as you extend your fingers. Inhale, and then yin. Go into your heels, reach down with your elbows, down with your wrists. Feel your chin, and feel the Ren. And yang, all of your feet, big toes, reach up, expansive, inhale. Exhale, yin, chin. As the energy settles. One more, yang, balls of the feet, nose, and exhale, heels, yin, chin. Pause a moment and just feel into that and eat the chi. Let's get very soon. Feel yourself sinking into the earth, at the same time reaching up at the crown. Good. Step in. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Hands come up. Yang. And exhale. And throw the chi away. Dissolve into the emptiness. Yeah. And now what I'd like to do is to do a very simplified version of a ward off and a rollback. And there are tons of ways that people can do ward off and rollback. But we're going to do a very pared down way, kind of coming from the Yang Cheng Fu's 13 original postures. That even abbreviated from that. And the basic idea is we want to incorporate this microcosmic orbit into our movements so that we're able to, once we introduce it into the body mind and just start get somewhat familiar with it, then it becomes easier to just summon that energy up as a recreatable potential of energy. But first you gotta go there and you gotta walk the walk a little bit and kind of get the feel of it. And then once you get the feel of it, then your body mind can access it with just a thought. So put your right foot forward. Let me get it. So put your right foot forward, step back, and we want a kind of a narrow stance here. I know a lot of forms have a more of a wider stance, more of a hip width stance, whereas in the Yang Cheng Fu it's much more linear. So we want to do, for our purposes today, that's what we want to do. We want to have, so in other words, if you pull your heel straight back, you're going to bang into your other heel, which you're not going to get if, say Master Chen's form. So, but we want to do it this way. So the idea is with our ward off, we have the right arm curved in front of our chest like this. So the palm is right here at the center of the chest. The elbow is lower than the wrist, and the arm is reaching out, curved in front of the chest. And then the left hand, so my right arm is like that. My left hand is facing, my left palm is facing my right palm. And that's my posture there. And there's a slight forward lean in this posture. So you don't have to make it a big deal, but just kind of feel into that. So the idea here is we're going to feel into this posture first as a stationary thing, and just feel the Ren and Du channels. So just feel begin with the Du, feel your, that's where you're connecting your anus with your nose. The energy comes up. It fills up your spine. And as you do that, feel yourself reaching a little bit with your elbows, with your wrist, you're expanding. And then exhale and release, and feel your chin with your Huiyin. And relax a little bit. And then inhale, expand, nose. Feel that Yang expansion, and exhale, Yin, release. Yang, inhale, and this time press down with the balls of your feet, your big toes, as you expand. Using your nose, feel that Du channel, And exhale with your heels and feel the Ren, the yin of the Ren. Good. So now we're going to incorporate a simplified rollback. So feel that expansion there and sink into your back leg, turn and reach. And we're just going to do the same thing from this posture. This is the expression of the posture here. So feel the do with your nose, reach with your elbows, your wrist, your fingers. Feel that expansion. Open up your back, open up between your shoulder blades. Feel that yang expansion. And with your heels, and relax and settle that down. And yang, feel that expansion. Feel your nose and the balls of your feet. Press down with your toes. Inhale and then exhale. Feel your chin, your Huiyin, and release. And yang expansion, nose, du channel, and yin, ren, chin. Yeah. Just pause a moment and just feel into that. Feel the chi in your Tai Chi posture here. We're going to make it into a moving thing now. We're going to sink into your heel, sink into your right heel, and we're going to ward off. So inhale, feel your nose, feel the dew, press down with your big toes, and feel that yang expansion. And exhale, sink into your heels, and turn. Ren, chin, and sink into your right heel, right ball, do, yang. Feel that reach with your elbows, open. Feel that yang chi, and sink into your left heel, yin, and yin, ren. Feel your chin. And sink into your right heel, yang. Reach, expand. Reach with your elbows. Reach with your, feel that do, expansion, yang, and yin. And pause and just feel into that. Relax. I'm going to change this up a little bit because we can. And we're going to inhale, your heel, and open. Feel that do. And sink into your right heel, open, and release, and feel the ren. And sink into your left heel, and press down with the big toe, and inhale. Feel the do. Yang. And exhale, sink into your heel. Release. Ren. Feel your chin. Sink into your right heel. And inhale, press with your ball of your foot. Reach with your elbows, expand. Nose. Do. Relax, sink into your heel. Sink your left heel. And that's your Ren, your Yin. And now left ball, left big toe, nose, and two, or yes, two, Yang. And relax. And step back. And pause. And here we include both the Ren and the two. Feel the yin yang. Feel the whole system filling up with qi as those channels are overflowing with energy, and it's now exporting it to all the meridians, filling up all your cells with energy. Eat the qi. Relax very soon. Tip of the tongue and the roof of your mouth. Breathe your nose. Gently lift your Huiyin, your anus. You're connecting up the microcosmic orbit. Step in. Take a deep breath. Go to the balls of your feet. Bounce your big toes. Feel that yang expansion. And with your heels and disappear the qi. Throw it all away. Creating space for the nature qi to come in. Dissolve into the emptiness. Mind is clear. Please have a seat. Richard.
Well, two things. One, you tell me if this is okay, but I found that this exercise was really enhanced by my raising and relaxing of my Huiyin as the period goes. Really connected me with the directions and the path. And the other thing that I wanted to say was, this is one of the best
Tai Chi. By the way.
This is one of the best Tai Chi classes I have ever participated in. Thank you very much.
And you've been through a few of them.
I've been through a few of them.
Oh, good. What made this one special for you?
Everything sort of came together. Your explanation in the beginning, I'm thinking now about the perfect thing before you do the orbits would be primordial qigong to fill yourself up, and then use that filled energy to follow the pathways. But I now see that, and also our preparatory work is what fills us up, so that we have the reservoir of qi to then do the exercises of directing the qi to the beneficial parts. And those are concepts that have always been part of the litany, but it really is made substantial to me in this class tonight. Thank you very much,
That's
Steve.
fantastic. Thank you. That I really appreciate the your words. That's terrific. Cool. Valerie, did you have your hand up? Yes.
Yeah, yes, I did. I that's hard to follow.
So, right.
There was just at one point that this sticks with me when everything was moving, and this is so delightful, and after what Richard said, it's like I said, that makes that seem so small, but delightful. It was just delightful.
That's the most important part.
We like delightful.
Yes. I'll take it.
Yeah. Something about having an abundance of chi makes things better.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Beautiful. Cool. John.
I would say, excuse me, it was very powerful for me as well. It was you and I that had that conversation earlier this week about that I wasn't feeling so much of the chi while doing the form. I think perhaps because I'm concentrating on the movements and I'm concentrating on the physical aspects of what I'm actually doing. And knowing what was coming, or having a sense of what was coming. And after we spoke, I went back and read the several sections of the book on energetic coherence and help prepare me for what we're doing. And so are you suggesting that this is something that we might do before doing the form, and then we just, after this, go into the form and kind of bring the chi with us, I guess is what you're saying, correct?
Well, I'm saying that if you do the three pillars correctly, if you get that, energetic coherence, central equilibrium, and unkink the hose, then you're going to have lots of chi. This is a particular application of that, and it certainly wouldn't hurt to do 30 seconds of microcosmic orbit, before you do your form, just to kind of like fill your channels. Mm-hmm. And then whenever it's like, you're going to take a trip in your car, you want to fill it up with gas before you do it. I used to do my form like I was driving out into the desert looking for a gas station, hoping that I'd find some while I'm doing my form. And I find it much better to fill it before I go. And so that's this is just one way of really feeling that expansive fullness that we can get from having like a full tank of chi going into whatever it is we're doing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it couldn't hurt, I guess is what I'm saying. Jonathan.
It does seem that expansion increasingly in our classes during the week and here is becoming more prominent to me as deserving of focus. I mean, there's so much focus through the years on reaching, which of course, and that way of energetic coherence, but it's so much more for me what I'm getting than just, yang expansion. It's like, well, yeah, but then it's not like yin collapse. I mean, whatever the muscles or the outward form of the arms are doing, there's still a sense of that poles in opposition that keeps an expansion always in play. It seems I don't think like the three pillars without the expansion can't really happen. It's like they help create it, and then you can take that whole body, that sense of expansion that those three pillars create through every moment of every form you do. Like you never seem to lose the whole body. I mean, and if I just reach or isolate one part of the body, the danger is I can not have the rest of the body with me in play as a whole body. So I guess expansion and whole body are coming together for me as kind of key touch points or something.
Yeah, I think it's some usefulness to think about it as a bellows. That's in the Tao Te Ching, and it's something that's expressed in the Tai Chi literature, and that is that there's this compression and opening and compression. So there's this movement there that creates the chi flow. So I think there's some usefulness to think of it that way. I think in terms rather than expansion, maybe I think what you're talking about there is a sense of fullness.
Absolutely that.
Fullness of
So it's
yin
like
chi, fullness of yang
yes,
chi. So
right.
rather than yin just being an absence of yang chi, it's not. It's
Right.
fullness of yin chi.
Right. Right. Exactly that. That's exactly what I mean by expansion. And just what I'm saying is, if I concentrate too much on just reaching, like I'm isolating a part of the body and I can lose the intensity of that focus, could lose my sense of that whole body expansion that both yin and yang have. So yeah, I don't know. It's just that word expansion seems to me key, more fundamental than I treated it before.
Yeah, I think all of us come up with the idea that the Tai Chi is about relaxation. And that gives us, that's the foundation that we start on. And it's an accurate one because we want to let go of muscular tension before we get down to the real work. But at some point, we have to place that idea in a proper context going forward. And so this expansion that you're talking about is not a relaxation, although it's done with sung. So it's done without muscular contraction, but there is an expansiveness that comes with the filling, and so it's kind of letting go of the predominance of the idea of relaxing, because after a certain while, relax leads to collapse, and we don't want them to be the contradictory ideas. We just have to kind of modify our language to include that sense of fullness, both yin and yang.
Right. And that's that sense of fullness and wholeness that we never let go of. And once we establish it with the three pillars, we carry it through every moment of the form. We're taking this expanded body sense with us everywhere.
Yes.
So which puts all the more emphasis on why we start where you've been starting all these classes now, which is so beneficial.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Cool. Anybody else? Debbie.
I really appreciated when you started out and you were talking about not just the circulation in the microcosmic orbit, but also just the focus on the reservoir, filling each reservoir, and that gave a completely different feel to everything when I thought of it one way versus the other, and then trying to think of it as combining the two, so that it's not either or, that it's both. And that was really just a neat way of doing it. So thank you for that.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. It more aligns more with my experience, that language as reservoirs rather than as streams or flows. So it's yeah, thank you for that. Cool. Anybody else? Scott.
I think tonight the blending of it really is what was really powerful. I mean, from the first ward off, it was just whoa, and it just got more whoa, and I'm just like sitting here. I'm just sitting here and now, and I don't really, there's not really many words where I'm existing at this moment. But yeah, I feel huge.
Beautiful.
Expansive. That's the word.
Nice. Okay, thank you all so much. It's been really fun, and really appreciate your comments. So thanks a lot.
Love you, Maria.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.